Hello there fellow modelers, Steve here, and I know it's, well, at the moment it's the 3rd of January, but by the time I get this uploaded it could be either the 4th or the 5th. I know we're into the 2023 now, but I thought I would do me review of the year. A few kits that I've did eventually finished, and some kits that I've got planned for next year, well, for this year, sorry, with me cup of coffee because it's a bit nippy up here. So I'll start off with kits that I've got planned for this year. Now I started this one, I think it was last year, which is it's the very old Revel 132nd FA-18A Hornet. Now it's primed, it's just got to have the first coat of the light Compass Ghost Grey on the top. Now it didn't come with any underwing pylons, and it was not last year at Telford. Yeah, I think it's a couple of years since I've started this. It was the previous year. There was one of the stands there, and I can't remember what it was called, but I asked him if he had any underwing stores for Hornets for the 132nd scale, and he said he didn't, but he gave us a web address of a website in America. It's called the Flying Leathernecks, and I clicked on when I got back, and I found 4 that matched what would have been carried by the early Hornet. Now I've already got the missiles done. There's 2 harpoons, 2 sparrows and 2 sidewinders, and there's a drop tank in the middle. But it's primed now, and I've got the fins coated there. They're in a colour blue, and it's going to be in a colour scheme that has an eagle. I can't remember the name of the unit, but it's very striking. So that's an ongoing project. Now what else have I got? This is what it started today for. It's the civilian group build run by Robert Artenoff. I'm not sure if that's the right way to pronounce his name, but I've put it on the Facebook page, but I haven't put it on when the kit's reviewed, when it's incomplete, but I'll do that probably either tonight or tomorrow. And it's that one, which is the I don't know who makes this. Platts. It's obviously a Japanese make because it's in Japanese markings. It's a C-46, but I'm doing it in the markings of Buffalo Airways. If anybody's ever watched Ice Pilots, I seen this at Telford last year and I said I've got to get that. So that's planned for the civilian group build, which starts today. And something else which I want to get started this year, I should have started it last year, which is the Revel FA-18E Super Hornet in the markings of Maverick, out of the Top Gun Maverick film. Now I've got plenty. I've actually got a kit for Christmas that had the markings for this, but I bought this, Dusty, I think it was just before the film was released again, when it was officially released. And I said but I was going to start it last year, but I've got a few other kits that I wanted to get finished with to sort of clear the bench, but I want to get that started. And I've also got the Airfix 172nd scale, which is the early Hornet. I don't know why they've did that, but I've got the markings, and I've got I've got loads of Hornet kits. There's a Hornet kit I've got in 172nd scale, which is the FA18E. It's a single seater, and I'm going to do that in like a little diorama, but that's maybe for later on in the year. But I want to start this year. And something else well, I've started it, but I want to see if I can get it finished for the end of next year, which is which is the Academy 148th scale MiG-21, but I'm going to do it in Cuban Air Force markings. God, that's cold. I've already started the cockpit, but it's all in there, and I want to get that finished for at least next year sometime. And what else have I got? This is something that I started last year, probably the year before, which is the old Airfix Bristol Freighter. Now I've done all the ribbon inside because inside was basically bare. So that's an ongoing project. I want to try and get that finished as well. What else? This is something that I started last year. It's the Matilda. It's the Tamiya one. I've got the dioramas done, but I wanted to weather the tank. It was a nice kit to make that. It's something else which is ongoing. Which is I've started this I think a couple of years ago. It's the Würzburg radar. Now the set is done, but this is the base, and it's got the sandbags round, and I'm putting the planking surface in. This is basically just coffee stirrers you get out of Costa Coffee, but it does resemble wood planks. So that's an ongoing project. I want to try and get that finished as well. And this is something that I started, which I seen a photograph of it on a Facebook page, and it was basically a Harrier but with a hunter nose. It was one of the I can't find the thing anywhere, and I asked one of the lads in our model club who does all this what if, and he can't find it either. It's just a what if, really what if. And I was putting, and it's there. It's got a hunter nose and a Harrier, and I've used the hunter wings, so it's got 3 pylons rather than just the 2, and it's got a T-tail, a V-tail, and I'm going to do it in Royal Navy markings. I'll check how much I've got left. Oh, I've got plenty left. Right, some other kits. These are kits that I've finished. Right. Now this is something that I started, must have been about 3 years ago. It's an AMC American 4x4 truck, and it was a bad kit to go together because it was the engine when it went in. I'll lift the bonnet off. was the engine when it went in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not straight because the chassis was warped a bit. I tried to straighten it up, but it didn't go in. But I've got the engine in there, and it's but basically it's done. But I put the bonnet on with that little Daffy Duck transfer. Now that on the 18 minutes, plenty. If you see on the wheels, obviously it was raised with the Formula Desert Dog truck tyres. It took me ages to paint them. I was doing it with a little cocktail stick. But I'm glad that they've come out very well. And what I did for the back was got some balsa wood and got a mixture of, I think it was dark mahogany oil paint, mixed it with some terps and stained the wood, and it's come out quite nice. I'm quite pleased with how this has turned out. And inside you can, I don't know if you can see, inside is, you can see the gear stick and the speedometer, and it's got a bit more detail, but you can only see it with the naked eye better. So that's what I got finished. I was glad I finished that. Now, something else that I started about 5 years ago, and it was an American World War II truck, which is there. And I've did it in, it's really set in Christmas Day 1944 in Bastogne, and I've got I think it was an Italieri church doorway with a Christmas tree. It was supposed to have a star on, but it must have fell off somewhere, and two soldiers, which is out of a US soldier set that I bought at the same time as I bought the truck, and a jerry can that's like an oil drum that's a brazier. And I've got to finish it off, get a star, and put some bits of wood in that's charred a bit, as though it's been burnt. I was trying to get it like a flame effect, but it didn't work out. I'm quite pleased with how the snow's turned out. But that's took about 4 years to finish that. Now this is something that I finished only yesterday, no, the day before. It was my entry for the Hornet Group build, but I didn't get it finished in time. Run by Robert Artenoff again, and it's a Finnish Air Force FA-18 Hornet. What else? And I'm quite pleased with that as well. Now this, you see that air hole there? That is, it's on certain pitches. Certain Hornets have it, but some Hornets do. Now all Canadian Hornets have it. It's a searchlight. And before Finland bought the Hornets, they were the only ones that had it. I don't know why. So what I've did there is I've drilled a hole in, and I've got to put some Decaflex in for a clear, and then it'll be complete. But only the Finnish and Canadian Hornets have it. I don't know if it's got something to do with a snow-covered terrain. But that's another Hornet for me collection. And this is something that I'm working on, which is an old Airfix de Havilland Comet, and it had British European Airways markings. But I had a look round and I found out that Olympic Airways of Greece flew them. So I had a look for some markings, but they were all about 26 quid. And then what I 16 minutes. What I found on eBay was a Russian small, like, light transport jet, like an executive type of thing, and it had Polish LOT Airways and Olympic Airways from Greece, and it was only about £19 including postage and packing. So I sent away for that, and I'm going to use the Olympic decals to put over there. So it's Olympic Airways, and it's, I forgot to put some weight in the nose, and it's a tail sitter. But what I've got is, where is it? It come with the kit actually. It's a stairway, so I'm just going to put it there, attach it to the plane, and it should keep it up to avoid it being, and it should keep the nose down. So that's an ongoing, that's about 90% done. I think it's ready for the markings now. Oh, that's the Würzburg. See it there. German radar. That's complete, that. And that is basically everything. Everything that I wanted to get in me yearly review. Now I have some other kits that I've completed this year, but they're all I think they've been seen maybe on at shows, because a lot of them were at Telford last year, and if you didn't go to Telford, you might have clicked onto a website and found them. I don't know, but that's just with having not much battery life left, I don't want it to go on and on and on and on. Something else that I picked up at Telford, it's just to finish off this video. If you've ever been to Telford, there's always now that for the last 2 years there's been no kit swap, there's this Give Kit a New Home. Now I had a look and it was directly opposite our table. It was in hall 2, I think. No, it was in hall 3, sorry. That's where we were. And I had a look on and there was nothing really that took my eye. And then, as the day went on, the guy who was running it put more stuff out, and there was 3 ships that come out. There was an HMS Ark Royal, the Airfix one, and this come out. Now I don't know what scale this is, but it's an Iowa class battleship, and it's in World War II configuration. But I looked at it and I thought, that's a project, that, and I'm going to convert it to any one of the Iowa class battleships, the 4 of them that were modernised in the 80s. New Jersey, I was Iowa, New Jersey, Missouri and Wisconsin. Now I've actually been on the Missouri at Pearl Harbor, so I might do it in that, and it's going to basically get rid of all the guns, and I think you keep, it has 1, 2, 3, 5 5-inch turrets. 1, 2, 3. Now they took 2 of them off and they replaced them here and here with Harpoon box launchers, Harpoon anti-ship missiles and Tomahawk box launchers, and it had 4 of the close-in weapon systems, Seaways. What do they call it? The R2-D2, because it looks like R2-D2, and it's got the obviously the cranes went, the float planes and the catapult, and it has a helicopter landing pad. and it has various electronics upgrades. It has an aerial at the front on the bow, but it's an impressive ship when you see it, because me and my wife toured it all. I was more interested in it than she was, but I've actually stood, I think it was there, obviously the machine guns is not there, looking aft, you get a full view of the guns, and here is where the Allied surrender was, the Japanese surrender was signed, and I've seen the spot where it was signed, and also where the kamikaze landed. But that's not to be done straight away. I might have a look at it and say, oh well, I'll strip it and then put it away somewhere. It's not going to be done in a day, put it like that. So that's my review of the year, and I'm looking forward to the next year, well this year actually. And there's the first model show of the year is at Bolton. Okay, just because there's a Bolton up our way. It's at Bolton on the, I think it's the 22nd of January, and our club will be going down there. So that's something to look forward to. But other than that, it's just a question of getting all of these kits finished. I think I've got about 4 or 5 that are in the final stages, and I don't really want to start any more until I get them finished. Now I think I've waffled on a bit now. How much? Oh, I've got 14 minutes, but that's it. I'm going to finish now. So, when did I make the last video, which was just after Telford, so this is a bit of a record. November, December, January, 2 months, not 5 or 6 years like the ones with the last, the space between the last video and the one previous. It's a bit of an exaggeration that it was a long time. So I'm up on making videos, and I'll charge me camera up a bit more and make one in about a month's time, so I should have them all finished. Or some of them, I mean the Hornet's not going to be finished, but the Würzburg will be, and obviously that what if Harrier stroke Hunter will be. So happy modelling, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye now.